I realized that I need to eliminate some things. I need to scale back on some things. There are other areas where it requires a little bit more of a sacrifice. So I'm seeing all different types of things, right? It's not like it's one clear-cut answer for here is the single way to close out 2024 strong. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you are in for a treat. Today I want to talk about closing out the year strong. Here's the thing, I spent 3 years as a career coach working one-on-one with women to help them break into new fields, secure promotions, increase their confidence at work, you name it, right? And if there's one thing that I've learned, it's that many people are really good at starting strong, but when it comes to finishing strong, I'm gonna put a little question mark right there. So I know for me personally, when it comes to vision casting, creating the vision board, writing down the SMART goals, breaking it down into many milestones, planning the celebrations, like that stuff is all fun. But then there comes a point when you start doing the actual work and you find out that things may not pan out like the picture perfect plan that you put together at the beginning of the year. And that's okay, because you should dream big, right? Like when you plan your year at the start of the year, you should be swinging for the fences because we play to win around here. That's fine. But there come points throughout the year when you need to reevaluate. You may need to adjust your plan. But what's not okay is just pretending like, oh, that plan over there, I'm just not even gonna review it. I'm just gonna let it be what it's gonna be. Then I'm gonna come to the end of the year. I'm gonna find out I ain't reached none of those goals. And then I'm gonna rinse and repeat next year, right? Because if we're really honest with ourselves, I think what that does is, honestly, it causes us to lose trust in ourselves and in our own abilities. Because picture this, there are also some people who say, you know what? It's no point in setting goals at the start of the year. It's no point in doing XYZ because what's gonna be is gonna be. And so there's a part of that where it's like, yes, of course, God can do whatever God's gonna do with the year, right? Like he can insert some changes that were unforeseen. He could also come in, do a miracle, and things can change in an instant. But there is a role that we play, right? Like there are certain actions that we need to take in order to be an active participant in our future. And so for me, as I was sitting down, reevaluating the goals that I set for this year, and just honestly, the number of things that I have invited onto my plate, God really began revealing to me that I'm doing too much. Hashtag team too much. But in all seriousness, this year had a lot of unexpected twists and turns, and I mean, it's been great, but what I realize is that there are a lot of good things happening that aren't necessarily God's direction for me. And so in my quiet time, one verse that was highlighted for me, which honestly, I've read this verse so many times, and I read it in a way that is different from the revelation that I had this time reading it. And it's Galatians 6:9. Don't grow weary of doing good, for in due time, you will reap a harvest if you don't lose heart. I probably blended together all of the different versions. So that is a mixture of NKJV, NIV, KJV, ESV, somewhere in the middle. But look up Galatians 6:9. In the beginning, it talks about not growing weary. And for me, that part always used to speak to this idea of waiting, right? Like I'm doing the good, but I'm waiting for the harvest to come, and I shouldn't grow weary in the meantime. But this time when I was reading it, it had a new spin to it. The weary for me spoke to fatigue. And what I was reminded of is that there are many times when we grow fatigue because we are adding thing after thing after thing to our to-do list, to our plate. And honestly, we don't take the time to recognize that our capacity for excellence is limited. Yes, we have 24 hours in a day, but you can't run full speed all 24 of those hours. In fact, you should be getting 8 hours of rest, of sleep. I'm big on that. But like, you can't run full speed that whole time. And so you have to be strategic with what it is that you allow onto your plate. And so as I was having this whole revelation, I realized that there were things that, again, they were good things, but they did not need my focus in this season. And so practically, what did this look like? It looked like, one, reviewing the goals again, taking a new, fresh look at the goals that I had set, and then also really evaluating where I was spending my time. So it's easy to look up at the end of the week and be like, hey, where did all my time go? But what is truly eye-opening is when you take the time to truly audit, where are you spending this time? And so I know this is normally the point where people are like, screen time, like, get off your phone. And that is not actually where I'm going with this. Like, screen time, yes, that is one sort of distraction, but there are also other distractions that people don't talk about often because guess what? They're still good things. There may be things that on the surface are truly good things. I will give you a real life example for me. I enjoy serving. And so I raised my hand to help with this opportunity that gives me the ability to operate within my gifts. But the thing that the Lord revealed to me is that I already had other things on my plate that were truly God-given things on my plate. And while serving is definitely something that we are called to do, I had to be realistic about what that serving commitment could look like. And so it's one thing to say, hey, I'm going to volunteer my time every other week for 2 hours, and it being like that fixed commitment versus, hey, I'm willing to roll up my sleeves and do whatever y'all need and for however long y'all need it. And I mean, there's space for that. Like, there's absolutely some people where that is what you are called to do right now. But in this season, it's been revealed to me that I don't have the ability to move like that. Like, between trying to have date nights, trying to make sure that the kids stay active and involved in different sports and activities, trying to keep up with work, trying to keep up with business, trying to keep up with YouTube. So let me just throw that out there. I haven't been on here like I planned to be on here, but it's been a lot going on, as you can hear. But in all seriousness, like, I had all of these things, and I think for me, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I know that I know, and I can say this with confidence because of the number of women that I've worked with. Sometimes it is easy for us to add to our plate without fully acknowledging what we need to remove from our plate. And that becomes even more difficult when you've already been spending your time in a way that you deem wise, right? Like, I'm not spending a ton of time on social media. I'm doing all of this other stuff. But it's important to recognize that in order to be able to take on more, the way I've heard it said is every single time you give something your yes, you have to give something else your no, right? Like it is give and take. And so again, with only 24 hours in the day, with having a day that should be dedicated to rest, it's impossible to take on all of the things. Okay, so again, getting back to what this practically looks like for me, it required a new level of focus. I had to evaluate everything again, look at what was on my plate, again, do that time audit to understand where is my time really going. And then I had to do the difficult step of surrendering it all in prayer to really understand, like, okay, what's got to give, right? I recognize fully that my household is my first ministry, and so that is always going to be non-negotiable on the time spent, right? And at work, you have a job that you get paid to do, and regardless of what these social media streets try to convince you of with the quiet quitting or just doing the least, right? We went from doing the most to doing the least, and despite what they try to convince you, you get paid to do a job that you should do well. You should aim to do that role with excellence if that is where the Lord has placed you right now. And so then as I started going down the list of everything that's there, I realized that I need to eliminate some things. I need to scale back on some things. There are other areas where it requires a little bit more of a sacrifice. So I'm seeing all different types of things, right? It's not like it's one clear-cut answer for here is the single way to close out 2024 strong. I know people create these clickbait titles where they want you to come in and think that there is some one size fits all methodology, but it really comes down to diving into what all is on my plate. Where do I need to focus? What are some of the adjustments that I need to make so that this focus is worth it, right? Because when you try to focus on all of the things, you inevitably focus on nothing and get nothing done. The other thing that has helped me greatly in terms of, okay, here are my next steps, here's how I'm about to end this year strong, is community, y'all. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of community. And I will give you two examples. The first example is always, anytime I talk about community, it has to be the winner's circle. It is always the winner's circle for me, because as much as I thought I was creating this community for other women. Like when God gave me the vision for TWC, it was because I was working with these women one-on-one, and then I recognized that once they are through one-on-one coaching, so maybe they've kind of got some things figured out, maybe they've secured the next role, maybe they got the promotion, maybe they are like starting to gain their footing at work in terms of confidence. I recognize that the next step that these women need, that the Lord revealed to me, is community, because honestly, coming together is how we go so much farther. And so again, like I created this space, I thought, as something to help these women, but in reality, like, this community has just been so good for my soul. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to host such amazing women doing amazing things who, honestly, they keep me on my game too, right? I love that we've grown to a point where like we come together and we have conversations, and it doesn't feel like, oh, I have to have something prepared to teach. I have to facilitate a meeting, if you will. Like, it doesn't feel like work. Instead, it feels like I am coming together with a group of girlfriends, and we are talking about all things faith and career, and it is amazing. And so being within the winner's circle these past couple of months have been great, because it's been an opportunity to just be transparent, be vulnerable, and to see other women doing the same. It just naturally creates a safe space to just be, you know, and sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to have a space where you can be completely honest, but then you can get support from other people. You can get encouragement from other people. And sometimes we just need that. And so that chef's kiss, right? And so the other thing that I did was I met up with two of my girlfriends for breakfast. And it's been long overdue. One of them, she is just our international bae. She done lived some of everywhere, but she is now stateside. And I'm so happy that she was in town. So that way we were all three able to get together. And when I tell you, it's one of those things where, okay, the girlfriend who planned it, she is very last minute, and I hope she watches this. But she is a very last minute, and so she brings it up on, I want to say it was Friday evening that she brought up, like, hey, if y'all have the availability, I would love to see y'all and go to breakfast on Sunday morning. If you know me, most of the time my schedule's already planned out, but surprisingly, I wasn't planning to do anything other than like sleep in and rest on that particular day. But I was like, you know what? No, I miss them. I need to get there. Like, I gotta do it. Like, something in me just kept saying, I gotta do it. And I love my friends. So of course I want to see them, but it was like, okay, man, I gotta drive all the way to the city. And if you know, you know, Atlanta is just like the most, right? I'm gonna have to wake up a little early. And sometimes, you know, those excuses can creep in where you like, you know what? And she already gave me my out because she was like, I know it's last minute, so if you can't come, it's fine. But I was like, you know what? I need to be there. And I'm talking from the moment I walked in, it was just like, yes, this is what I've been needing. First of all, the other girlfriend brought us both flowers, which was super, super sweet. She's like, I want to give my girls their flowers. As a matter of fact, I got some pictures and stuff that I will likely pop up on screen. If I haven't done it already, I'll make sure that it goes in right at this point. But like, she got us flowers, again, because she was like, I want to give my girls their flowers while they're still here, which was just a moment I didn't even know that I needed. That is why it is so important to surround yourself with like-minded people who just get it. And you need those people who are gonna encourage you, but also those people who are not gonna be afraid to call you on your mess. So when you are making excuses for why something didn't get done or why something can't happen, you need those people who are gonna remind you of who you are, okay? And so it matters that these people are trustworthy. It matters that these people actually know you, right? Like, so all y'all who think like, oh yeah, I got a lot of followers on social media, that's my community, they're not. They don't know the real you. Like, they only know the parts of you that you show, that you share. And I'd hope, I don't know everybody, but I'd hope that you ain't showing the whole world all of everything going on, and rightfully so. But you need those people who are safe spaces, those people who you can trust, who God can use to just turn it around like that for you. Because honestly, when I walked away from our meeting, right? See, I'm calling it a meeting because that's what, like, honestly, I walked out of there like, okay, Candace, it's go time. It's go time. We are about to execute. We are about to focus. We are about to close out this year strong. But when I walked away from that breakfast, I felt so energized. I felt so like just new levels of ready. Like, I'm talking ready that I just wasn't getting outside of being in community, right? Like, it's one thing to sit in front of your desk and to be like, okay, I'm just gonna plug away, I'm gonna get it done. It's another thing to have people that God can use to really pour into maybe some of your fears, maybe some of the places where you're starting to doubt yourself. He can use those people to remind you. And so I don't know about you, but as for me, I am ready when it comes to, we got how many? I think we got, let's just say 2 more months, because I mean, that's what it is. We got about 2 more months to close out this year strong, and I am ready. I'm ready. And so my question to you is, what about you? What about you? How are you going to finish strong? Now, I get it. You may have started strong somewhere along the way. You may have fallen off a little bit. You might have got distracted. You might have got discouraged, right? But how are you going to finish strong? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, please do share with a friend, like, comment, subscribe, all of the things. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I haven't been posting as much as I need to. I need to get back to that, but I will be back to that now that I'm ready. Again, now that I am ready, because I'm ready, I'm gonna close it out strong.